welcome to yet another Short Film Saturday.
Whoop!
I'm your host, Paul A. Presenza, otherwise known as the Moo Cow, Moo, and I'm with
Jonathan A. Moody.
And we are here to talk about the 2005 short film slash, I guess you might call it like a TV episode for like public access TV. And it is The Adventures of Electra, Elf, and Fluffer, which is a Nick Zedd superhero short film starring the wonderful, wonderful Reverend Jen Miller.
Well, you're a big fan of.
Who I'm a giant fan of. I'm a total simp for her.
You got a crush on her.
And her little puppy dog, little Taco Bell dog, Fluffer.
But his real name is Reverend, well, her, I guess? Reverend
Jen Jr.
Jen Jr.
Yeah, super cute. So this one involves, I guess the adventure is like an environmental thing, plus local politics in New York City. And it's Rush Lintbaum.
Lintball.
Right, who is collaborating with the Reverend Al Charlatan to divert votes away from progressive people.
If those names sound familiar, they are.
And so that Captain SUV can drive his gas-guzzling SUV, and Michael Jackson-ish kind of appears as like a weird puppet person.
Was he dead at that time or no?
I don't recall.
But
probably.
Like the whole idea was like he was rotting, I guess, and his like face was
falling off of him. Yeah, it's very broad, ridiculous, cartoony sort of silliness, but it was fun.
So the beginning opening looks very silly, goofy, whatever. Then they get into this like scene with Rush Limbaugh or whatever, who's going on and on about his politics and his problems with.
And he's sucking down Xanax.
Yeah, and then he actually has Reverend Al Charlatan come on and chat about whatever, and basically you find out that Reverend Al Charlatan has been sort of coercing with
he's getting paid.
Yeah, he's getting paid in Xanax or whatever.
And money
to actually like basically pretend to be different to be going up for presidency on a different.
Yeah, his job is to siphon off black votes away from progressive people and stuff like that.
And then so he does, but I was like thinking, man, this is actually not that bad. Like as well as
for a Nick Zedd movie.
For a Nick Zedd movie, there's some humor, but there's like a lot of like real political talk and shit, and I was very surprised. And then at one point I felt like it went a little too long with the political, like there's a guy on the street kind of telling everybody all this stuff, and it kind of went on for too long. I told Paul, this is going on too long. Once I said that,
that's when all the wackiness hit.
I know, and I was like, so he was like, Paul looks at me and goes, when you say it's getting too long, Nick Zedd knows.
Yep. You know? So it's like that's when Captain SUV shows up with his weird Chicky Poo sidekick, and then a bunch of Ditto heads, and then a bunch of like
Ditto heads.
They're like Rock'em Sock'em robots and just plastic bits and pieces that just sort of look like they're thrown together, kind of like from Actium Maximus.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of ridiculous stuff, and it's clearly like super, super low budget.
Yeah.
And, there's some stop animation stuff and claymation stuff, and clearly a lot of props are plastic or they're children's toys, and it's just silly and ridiculous, but it's really cute too. And it's it's decently written, and Nick Zedd wrote it. And I mean, he's got Reverend Jen at the time as a girlfriend, and he's like, let's make a movie involving you and your little dog that you love. Why not?
Mean, it was cute.
That's
like,
what you
being
do.
Being able to go in and just make a movie with your friends.
Right. And they made a few of these, and apparently, I think public access TV is what they were either made for or where they ended up going on New York City.
There's like no cursing though, right?
Yeah, and that's, again, public access TV.
Right,
so.
like that's what I'm saying. There's no cursing. It was very Batman 1969 or whatever.
Stop, you evil villain, you. That kind of stuff.
Stop. And then pow. Bam.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting going on. And even poor Electra Elf got her butt kicked a couple of times.
And poor Fluffer. I mean, he got his butt kicked, or she got her butt kicked a lot.
And good thing that Fluffer has that acidic pee that destroys things. That's useful.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing was that it got on the robot dog who needed to be
That
short.
was adorable.
Yeah, it was cute.
Marvel, you could learn a lot of stuff from Electra Elf and Fluffer. That's for sure.
I just think it's just a bunch of friends going out making a short that was fun.
Sure.
Cute.
I haven't done a lot of research on this, but I'm really hoping that he got some kind of a grant from the city of New York to go out and make these, because why not? I mean, come on. It's just adorable and fun. And someday we're going to get Reverend Jen on our show and talk to her, and I'd love to hear her talk about that. She's a very interesting character. She's an artist in and of herself. She's a painter. She does poetry. She does spoken word stuff. She used to have, in her old apartment, she was known for having the, what are those little gnome dolls?
Garden gnomes?
Well, no, the ones with the weird hair. She had a museum.
The troll doll?
Yeah, troll dolls. She had the museum, the official museum of troll dolls, because she had like a huge collection of several hundred of them.
That's cute.
And people used to go there and see it. And then unfortunately, I guess she lost her rent control apartment. And I remember for a while I was like, oh shit, poor Reverend Jen. But I guess
could have been like, you could come to Virginia and stay with me.
Yes. But stuff didn't work. I guess stuff worked out, and she's doing other things. But she's been in some trauma movies. She was in Shakespeare's Shitstorm, which was 2020. But she was all the way back in 1999, and she was in a bit part in Terra Firma, and she's been in a few other things too. So she's just adorable. And is she a professional actress? No, but it doesn't matter. She's I
don't know. She was very professional. I mean, like, she did a good job.
She's obviously very willing and able to act and to do her bit.
There was a great scene where like, she says the line of like, oh man, I'm the only news reporter here. I must be able to give my scoop, and like, it was obviously very sort of cute. Like they add that in there,
right,
and stuff, but. It was funny.
Yeah, it was really, really cute.
It kind of reminded me like Superman and Batman. And
I think you could probably show this to maybe not too young kids, but maybe like tweens. I think they might get a kick out of this.
I don't know. Maybe 8-year-olds, who don't know any better.
A little more politically aware, maybe.
I mean, you usually listen to adults too if they want to laugh, sort of.
But especially if you like a parody of superheroes, which I like. I like the parodies of them. I don't like the superhero parts. But if you're going to have a superhero, Electra Elf and Fluffer are going to be the ones for me.
You'd rather watch, that than like Avengers or something.
So at some point, I imagine we will watch a couple more of these and do them. It's just,
I don't know if we did 2 Nick Zedd this year or not this season. But either way.
Her most infamous one is one I have not shown you, but I showed Gary. And it was the short film that broke Gary.
Wow.
This was her
short film that broke Gary.
Yeah, this was her elf panties short. I have to show that to you someday.
Elf
That's
panties.
The other thing about Reverend Jen. She has an elf fantasy fetish thing going on, so she always has elf ears, and she loves to pretend that she's an elf. And
she's an
why
electric
not?
elf.
She pretty much is. She's like the elf of New York City. She's the official elf of New York City.
That's a title right there, Elf of New York City.
She's super adorable and just a lot of fun, and I'm glad that Nick Zedd actually made these little short films, these little shorts, which obviously there's no way they were going to make TV of any kind, but that's okay. They were fun.
This is the closest they're probably going to get.
Right.
But anyway, I really enjoyed it. That was fun. It was cute. And how can people watch this? Is there a link?
YouTube has some of them. They don't have all of them, but apparently they've all been collected into one DVD. So I have to buy that because,
of course, you
last time I checked,
as far as you haven't already.
Well, again, last I checked, it was sold out. So hopefully somebody else is going to put it out. Yeah, I may have to start scouring eBay because gotta have me all the Electra Elf and Fluffers that are out there. Someday, if we can get a hold of Reverend Jen, maybe she could tell us another way of getting them, or if there's any others out there, or Nick Zedd's gone, so we can't ask him anymore. But
That's sad.
I know. But I think if you want to know what Reverend Jen's all about, I think this is a nice little cute introduction to her and
I think
and the way that
this
she is.
wasn't my introduction. I think I've seen her in one other thing you did. It's like a short where she wasn't in Geek Mag Bingo, but she was in that short film we did where like they were in New York City and
yeah.
So I got to see her, but it wasn't a very good movie, so it wasn't easy to sort of.
Yeah, well, you got to equate Nick Zedd with low.
I know, but
budget.
this is a lot better. This is probably the best thing I've seen of his.
Yeah, I think he wrote it. He did the photography.
He did everything.
He did just about everything.
Yeah, we saw his name on like every crew member.
So clearly, he learned a lot of things going back from Geek Maggot Bingo, which Reverend Jen wasn't around at that time, but all the way up to this point, he was an established. Outsider artist, and he learned a lot of stuff, and he upped his game. So
there you go.
Yeah, well, we'll get to see some more Nick Zedd. I have a few more movies I haven't shown you yet that are pretty crazy.
Sure, you have.
And you even said it kind of reminded you a little bit of John Waters and a little bit of Chris Seaver.
Chris Seaver, John Waters. John Waters for all the people like. And even Chris Seaver.
Weird, grotesque characters.
Yeah, the people like... And Ed Wood, I said, too.
And Ed Wood.
Because, like, Ed Wood, there's that line in the movie Ed Wood, like, if I turn people... if I turn people away, I wouldn't have any friends.
Right.
If
I judge people.
Yeah, and that was this. This is...
And that's just it. Nick Zedd, who's an outside artist... worked with a bunch of other outsider artists and freaks and weirdos and crazy people, and they got to make movies, and this is great. That's awesome. I love it. And it's hard to do that in New York City.
Especially in New York City.
Yes.
So there you go. I give you props,
He
Nick.
did it. So there you go, Nick. Excellent. I only wish that they'd made a boatload of these because I think it's adorable.
I wish you could see this review. I'm sure up in heaven where you're making... lots more art.
Keep our hooves crossed. Maybe Reverend Jen will see it. I follow her, and every now and again I post something on her thing. So maybe if we could put this up, I'll put the link on there, and she'll check it out. So love your work, Reverend Jen.
This is the last episode of the of the season. We'll be back in January for more episodes, but we're taking a little bit of a break before we shoot. We're gonna shoot like. We do basically like 4 to 10 shorts a day or whatever time that we do it. So we'll see.
And you gotta admit, this was much better than Mr. and Mrs. Dracula.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was rough.
This was 30 minutes, but didn't feel like 30 minutes.
Not quite 30. It was 28.
Yeah, it was almost 30 minutes. But the other one was like 20 minutes and felt like 50 minutes. Oh God, yeah. So there you go. All right. Well,
no laugh track needed for this.
And we did this in his office.
Yeah. I'm in my
couldn't
office.
get the freaking thing to work in our studio, but we did it here.
Which is why we always ask folks, if you want to help us out, join our Patreon and give us $1 a month so we can start upgrading our equipment.
Yeah, I don't think that's why they want to give us $1 a month.
Otherwise, our production's going to look like.
Sorry, we're not trying to ask for money so we can buy things. That's kind of fucked up. Yeah. We're trying to ask so that
upgrading equipment.
We can continue to do this.
Yeah.
So thank you. If you are a big supporter, please check out our Patreon. You get a free video or a free audio podcast every month. So there you go. Anyway, thank you guys for checking this out. Hope you had a good one.
See you next season.
Bye. See you next year. Bye.
Electra, Elf, and Fluffer.